Because this is a free market and people...
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defended lawmakers and their spouses trading stocks, even though there is a clear conflict of interest there. And I'm sure her famous stock trading husband and their $200 million has nothing at all to do with it. So before I get to the video of her answering this question, this is the report that led to the question. So this from Insider. At least 182 high-ranking congressional staffers have violated a federal conflict of interest law with overdue disclosure of their personal stock trades. So I will link to this article below the video on YouTube, but just their summary here. Insider analyzed congressional staff financial filings from January 2020 to mid-September 2021. Reporters found at least 182 instances in which senior staffers were late disclosing stock trades. Quote, "A lot of people just ignore the law, and it goes unenforced," one ethics watchdog said. So the ones making the law, the ones that are, should be the ones upholding the law the most, are the very ones breaking it because they know they can get away with it. Now, and by the way, this is just a law in terms of reporting their investments. Forget the fact that they're allowed to do it at all. I mean, that's the real issue here, that they're allowed to make these sorts of investments and the obvious conflict of interest there. But before I get to any of that, and Nancy Pelosi's famous husband, famous stock trading husband, let me first play her answer here.
182 senior congressional staffers have violated the Stock Act, the insider trading law. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that, and secondly, should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock, on the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be. Because this is a free market and people... We're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
This is laugh out loud ridiculous. I have 3 points here on this video alone. So she says here, no immediately. Look how quickly she answers that question to the idea of should lawmakers and their spouses be banned. Go back and watch that part of it. She says no almost before the guys finish the question. I mean, she can't wait to answer the question. Politicians, and especially Nancy Pelosi, are known to take a long time to answer and think how they're going to respond to certain questions. This one was like instinctual. She knew immediately, no, of course not, because that's how she makes her money. That's how her and her husband are so goddamn rich. And then the other part, I mean, this is her response to all of these people, violating this rule is, well, if they're not reporting it, they should be. That's it. You're not going to hold them accountable. You're not going to do anything about it. If they're reporting it, they should be. Meaning you're not going to do anything and you don't care. And the last one there saying that this is a free market economy. So of course we should be allowed. But you have insider knowledge and control over the market that most people don't. How does that not play into your calculus here? Because of course they're just completely dishonest. She's in this for the money, as are a lot of the politicians in Washington. So of course they're not going to be against that. But let's get to her husband now. So retail traders are mirroring investments by Nancy Pelosi's husband, whose stock picks have been strong performers over the last 2 years. I wonder why. I'm sure he has no knowledge. I'm sure he's just lucky. He just, happens to pick the right ones. More here from Insider. Retail traders are watching what Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, is doing on the stock market to help them decide what to do next. His stock picks have been quite successful. Christopher Josephs, co-founder of social investing app Iris, told Yahoo Finance, saying that every trade, quote, inevitably turned out to be such a long-term winner. It started with CrowdStrike in 2020, then Tesla, followed by Alphabet, then Nvidia, he told the outlet, noting that each of Paul's disclosed positions has gained 20 to 30% since the initial investment. These people have knowledge and control that others don't. I mean, it's gotten to the point where Paul Pelosi is actually famous now on TikTok, apparently. So this from NPR. Young investors have a new strategy, watching financial disclosures of sitting members of Congress for stock tips. Among a certain community of individual investors on TikTok, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's stock trading disclosures are a treasure trove. Quote, shouts out to Nancy Pelosi, the stock market's biggest whale, said user CEO Watch. Another said, quote, I've come to the conclusion that Nancy Pelosi is a psychic. while adding that she's the queen of investing. Quote, she knew, declared Chris Josephs, analyzing a particular trade in Pelosi's financial disclosures. Quote, and you would have known if you had followed her portfolio. And it's also mentioned here, of course, that her husband is the one that does the trading. Just unfreaking believable. This is obviously not an accident. There's a reason why young investors are looking at sitting members of Congress for stock tips, because they have knowledge and control that others don't. AOC here a week ago said this: it is absolutely ludicrous that members of Congress can hold and trade individual stock while in office. The access and influence we have should be exercised for the public interest, not our profit. It shouldn't be legal for us to trade individual stock with the info we have. Unfortunately, though, she is the minority in Congress. So, you have very few individuals there that are actually fighting for the average person. Again, AOC, like the other Justice Democrats, ran their campaigns with individual donors, no corporate money, no PACs, none of that crap. So they actually represent the people when they're in office, but very few lawmakers actually do. So more analysis here from New York Magazine, saying, defined broadly, free market principles may well dictate total liberty for a member of Congress. Let a person profit wherever they can. Yet there are obvious drawbacks for everyone else. The average individual investor can't match the information or access available to a member of Congress. This is how the free market tends to work. A few profit at the top, while people struggle in the middle and at the bottom. Prosperity exists, but it's not universal. Exactly right. And just to be clear here, this is from Sarah Jones, a great writer that I often cite in my videos. But here's a quick way to understand this from Mac, good politic guy. Letting politicians be able to own stock is like letting referees openly bet on games. That's it. That's all you really have to understand. You have politicians in Washington controlling the market, the ability to change, what is going on in the market with the stroke of a pen with a vote. And obviously that has implications in terms of what happens in the market, and also, of course, insider knowledge when it comes to, example like the pandemic and their insider knowledge going into that. There was, of course, a lot of stories on how many members of Congress either bought stocks or sold, depending on their knowledge of the pandemic before anyone else had it. Again, essentially insider trading here with the knowledge that they're using to buy and sell. But again, they're allowed to do it because they make the laws. Little meme here for you. So David Griscom tweeting this out. Cancel student loans? No. Insider trading? Yes. Joe Biden, of course, has the ability to cancel student loans by himself. Doesn't need a vote. He can do it by himself. Not doing it. Not to mention, of course, child tax credit is about to end early next year. Congress should extend that, but that fight essentially now is dead. Insider trading, though, that's where the money's made. That's where their focus is. All right, last thing here, just to make sure you are sufficiently depressed. Pelosi will stay around to lead House Democrats through the next election and perhaps beyond. Nancy Pelosi apparently not going away. She will stay through the midterms and potentially past 2024. Nothing is going to change when you have the same people in power for as long as they've been in power. This is ultimately the issue. The issue isn't the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is simply a skeleton. It's a shell. You can take it over and replace the individuals in it. It is people that are in power right now within the party. Pelosi, Schumer, Biden, and the other members of leadership. The vast majority of them pro-corporate, pro their own pocketbooks, and ultimately, of course, that has a negative impact on society and the working class who don't benefit while those in positions of power do.